Jennifer Lauren is Ralph Lauren's niece. She's a 41-year-old who has a jewelry business, and recently she was on a Delta flight from Barcelona to New York City. Now, during the flight, apparently she had a little bit of trouble reclining her seat in the 21st row, which is fascinating because I would assume that someone from a wealthy background would probably fly in first class, but she's 21st row. Good for her. Now, it's not reclining. She's getting really, really frustrated, so she asks a flight attendant to help her out. Well, apparently, as the flight attendant was attempting to help her, she told her to, quote, "Get the fuck out of my face." Okay. Well, that's not a good way to handle it, but it gets worse. So the flight attendant was like, okay, and she proceeded to walk away from her as, you know.
She got the fuck out of her face.
As Jennifer Lauren asked her to. And apparently that made her even more upset. Lauren became enraged and chased the woman up the aisle into first class cabin, pushed her against a wall, and called her a fucking ugly blonde bitch.
This is where Jank would ask her a picture of the stewardess. Yes. To confirm whether she is in fact an ugly blonde bitch.
Yeah. Now, passengers were getting concerned and standing up out of their seats. She told the air hostess she was going to go ballistic and pushed the air hostess hard as she hit her back against the wall of the aircraft. And then there was another flight attendant who came to help, and then she proceeded to tell that second flight attendant that she is a fucking ugly, unhappy blonde bitch. Okay, so added unhappy for the second flight attendant. You know, she wanted to make it a little more unique.
Well, I would guess at that moment she was probably actually unhappy. Because she had to deal with this stupid bitch.
Now, if this were anyone else, by the way, they would be charged with assault because you're putting your hands on someone, you're pushing them against a wall or, you know, the side of the cabin.
You're not thinking big enough. Assault? Can we get a shot of Amir for a second?
Yeah. If that were Amir,
Guantanamo.
Done.
Instantly.
Done.
If he was pushing stewardesses and calling
especially
the pilot
with that
an
creepy
asshole,
shirt on.
we'd never see him again.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
And then who
right.
would make coffee?
So,
I'm kidding. Actually, I usually make the coffee.
All
but
right. That's an inside joke. Now, when that happened, obviously people were really concerned and they needed to get her off the plane. So they made an emergency landing, and that cost the company, Delta, $43,158. Not to mention the 200 people that were on that flight. They were on their way to New York City, and now all of a sudden they have to make a pit stop because Ralph Lauren's niece is being belligerent and unbearable. Now, it turns out that she was heavily intoxicated. She had 3 drinks, and she also took medication. She has not disclosed what type of medication she took, but she has apologized profusely. A judge in Ireland made a ruling on this case, and she will not be, she was arrested. She was out on bail, but after the ruling, all she will have to do is pay about $27,000 in fines, and that's it.
Yeah. So the saddest thing about all of this is that in America today, her drunken rampage on this airplane, combined with the profanity, makes her a possible candidate for the next season of Real Housewives of wherever the hell she lives.
Yeah, New York
this
City.
is exactly the sort of thing that gets you on a reality TV show.
You're absolutely right about that, but I think the part of it that frustrates me the most, look, I'm not saying that she should get a prison sentence or anything like that, but she cost the company $43,000, more than $43,000. And when you consider the paranoia that we're living in right now, well, maybe she should.
She should. I'm not joking.
It's her fault. I mean, she was the one who was belligerent. You got to pay, the consequences for your actions. A $27,000 fine for someone with her type of background is nothing.
Yeah, $2,700.
Oh, $2,700.
Yeah. She paid a small fraction of it.
Yeah.
If those other passengers had to pay anything extra, I don't think that they did. But if they did, I would sue her personally because she caused it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And she pled guilty to her behavior. So maybe the judge was lenient based on her character before this incident occurred. But again, I just hate that we have a double standard when it comes to wealthy white people and people that look like Amir.
Yeah. And I'm also very disappointed. Again, in the world we live in today, nobody whipped out a cell phone and got video of this happening because that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would have been. You unhappy, ugly, unhappy bitch. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, with that said, we got to go because we're out of time. But if you're a member, we will have a post-game show for you guys. Cenk will be back on Monday. I know a lot of you are panicking about that, but don't worry. We still want to entertain you. And with that said, have an excellent night. We'll see you soon.